Good morning. Start the Good morning. Research and PG Department of Commerce is launching a webinar on the topic strategies for revamping this pandemic. I will
Good morning.
welcome Dr. Divya M for the introduction.
Good morning. Respected Principal Dr. Rajesh sir, Chief Guest of the Day Dr. Paul V. Matthew, Resource Person Mr. Anujit sir, Head of the Department and Program Convener Dr. Santosh sir, and faculty, students, and other participants, a warm good morning to you all. Today, Research and PG Department of Commerce and IQSC are organizing a national webinar on the topic Strategies for Revamping and Reviving Tourism Amidst Pandemic in connection with the observation of World Tourism Day. As we know, COVID-19 is the biggest challenge that our global tourism sector has faced till date. Typically, the tourism sector is among the first to be affected and the last to recover during a health crisis. For tourism sector in India, it is no longer going to be business as usual and we will need to refine, refocus and change the game plan going forward. So in this time, it is very relevant to have a discussion about the strategies to be taken to reviving tourism in India. In this special day, fortunately, we got two eminent personalities to have a discussion about this topic. Our program will be inaugurated by Dr. Paul V. Matthew, Research Head, Indian School of Democracy, Delhi, and former state team leader, Responsible Tourism Initiative, Government of Kerala. And today's resource person is Mr. Anujit, Assistant Professor, Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, Amal College of Advanced Studies, Nilambur. We expect a fruitful result from this webinar that how tourism industry can be recovered from this pandemic situation. Now, on behalf of MES KVN College and Research and PG Department of Commerce, I welcome one and all to this program. First, I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Paul V. Matthew, who is the apt person to inaugurating this session. Welcome you, sir, to this program. And I welcome Mr. Anujit S. He is currently working as Assistant Professor, Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, and he has 17 years of teaching experience and 2 years of industry experience in tourism. Welcome you, sir, for this keynote address.
Thank you.
I'm grateful to welcome our beloved principal who has constant support for all the activities that our college undertaken. Welcome, sir, to this program. Now, it's my privilege to welcome our program convener, Dr. Santosh, sir, who will lead the webinar in an effective manner. Welcome, sir. Last but not least, I welcome all the participants, faculties, students from our college and from other colleges. And without you, the program will be incomplete. So once again, welcome all of you to this webinar. Now I invite Dr. Santosh sir for leading this program. Welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Divya M. Respected dignitaries, resource person, Professor Anujit, Dr. Paul V. Matthew, other participants from various colleges, participants of our own college, Professor Habib Rahman sir. Once again, a warm welcome to our one-day national webinar on the topic tourism. As you know, the webinar is being organized by the PG Department of Commerce, especially on the day of World Tourism. So, I will not take much time for my speech, but I would like to invite Dr. C. Rajesh, who is the man behind of each and every activities of our college as well as our departments. So, on behalf of all the members of this webinar or participating members of from various colleges, I invite Dr. C. Rajesh for the presidential address. Sir, please.
Respected dignitaries of today's webinar, Professor Anujit and Dr. Paul V. Matthew, and the head of the Department of Commerce, Dr. P.C. Santosh Babu, Dr. Divya, Professor Sinija, Professor Nisab, and other faculty members of Department of Commerce. As we know, the World Tourism Day is being celebrated to raise awareness on the role of tourism within the international community and to demonstrate how it affects the social, cultural, political, and economic values worldwide. Now, as Dr. Divya said, tourism has been among the hardest hit of all sectors by the COVID-19 pandemic. No country has been unaffected, actually. And the restrictions on the travel and a sudden drop in the consumer demand led to unprecedented fall in the international tourism numbers. And tourism actually employs 1 in every 10 people of the earth. Because of the pandemic, about 10 crores of people have lost their jobs or their jobs are at risk. And this webinar is actually focusing on the ways or measures to rebuild tourism amidst the pandemic period. And actually, this is a theme of this year's Tourism Day, this year's Tourism Day celebration. Rebuilding tourism in a safe, equitable, and climate-friendly way. Now, I'm really happy that the Department of Commerce has taken initiative to organize a webinar with a very relevant theme in this pandemic situation. I would like to congratulate all the members of the department for organizing this kind of a webinar. And with these few words, I would like to invite Dr. Paul V. Matthew for the inaugural address. Sir, please.
Thank you very much. At the very outset, let me appreciate and thank the institution for organizing such a kind of very meaningful webinar on tourism and rejuvenating amidst pandemic. So for me, tourism is a pleasure. It's an integral part of my life. I travel a lot. It gives a lot of rejuvenation, energy, productivity, positivity, and well-being to human beings. So unfortunately, tourism is being seen a kind of unprecedented crisis during the history of times. So many studies say that our tourism industry is declining up to 70 to 80%. And tourism is actually connected to many areas: travel and tourism, hospitality, airlines, travel. And many countries, tourism is actually contributing to the gross GDP at least 10 to 15%. There are some countries, tourism is actually the backbone of the economy. So it is also a good portion of service industry. So it's affecting very hard to almost all sectors. So I think like we needed to discuss about how it impacted, but this is the time to discuss about what kind of solutions we can come up with. The title is also very much interesting, how to rejuvenate the industry amidst pandemic. I think our key speaker Anjit will talk about in detail, but let me give you some observations, how we can do and how we should foresee in this kind of very crisis situation. So as you know, like the introductory speech also conveyed that the business is not going to as usual. And in tourism industry, there may not be a kind of massive tourism or mass tourism in the future. So when mask is coming, there will not be physical distancing, so pandemic will increase. So people are very much scared and fearful to go to destinations. So there will be a stop for mass tourism. In one direction it is good, and in another direction it is also wrong. When there is no mass tourism, that is good to destinations. Normally, for tourism destinations, there is a carrying capacity. If it outreaches the carrying capacity, the sustainability elements will be losing. So the concept of carrying capacity and sustainable development will make more sense to this post-pandemic or the new normal. So why the sustainability is very important? For example, let me give an example. Like when mass tourism is no more, we have to identify new destinations. So we have to identify more new destinations and explore destinations. So then the carrying capacity will be distributed to different unexplored areas. So the concept of sustainability will be much realistic and more reliable. Sustainability has a sense like society will be considered, local economy will be considered, Then environment as well as cultural aspects will be considered. So that is the first point. Probably there will not be a massive tourism in the future that is good to sustainability and carrying capacity. Second is like emergence of regional bubbles. As you know, this massive tourism is not possible. So we have to develop kind of regional bubbles, some unexplored areas. Go to the hinterlands of the village. So if you consider the United Nations theme of World Tourism Day on the last September 27, the theme is tourism and rural development. I was wondering how it happened. So there is a very huge and thought process behind that. Go to rural India or go to rural places and explore the unexplored places. And government of India is very vocal on the concept like vocal for local, tell about local things. So if you study the history and the research on tourism industry, many foreign travelers are very much excited to see the unexplored destinations, rural hinterlands, the rustic places, natural attractions. Apart from that, rich traditional, cultural lifestyles, indigenous culture, dishes and all. So that is where this responsible tourism initiatives of government of Kerala is also looking at expanding different programs like village life experiences packages, go to villages, explore villages, like that concept. So the concept will be the regional bubbles. We have to develop such kind of micro tourism destinations to revive the crisis situation that we are seeing in the tourism industry. The third factor is obviously work from home. A lot of emerging concepts are coming in work from home industry. A good number of people, like 60 to 70% of people are working from home. So as you know, these people are very much frustrated. They are inside the walls, four walls, and they really want to come out and go to explore different places. But there is no option because of this pandemic. So when governments are ready to loosen these restrictions, there may be a lot of opportunities. For example, there are a lot of governments are coming up with innovative ideas like staycation, stay plus vacation, or pleasure, business plus pleasure, or holy stay, holiday plus stay. Vacation, recently Himachal Pradesh government has come up with workstation, work plus vacation. So such kind of concepts will really make some sense because we also many people are working from home. I also work from home, so sometimes feel frustrated. So some resorts and companies they are offering good opportunities to work on resorts and to give relief and enjoyment to the people. So this kind of concepts like staycation, pleasure, holy stay, workstation, those feel going to make some sense. So there is one more meaning thing, like this kind of concepts in tourism will reduce the urban stress. Because of this industry clustering in the urban areas become more stressed to environmental, social, and such impact. So then this kind of innovative concepts will coming up, and that will be a huge relief to the urban centers. So it's temperature part, traffic part, congestion part, so everything will be reduced. So in the sustainability aspects, this work from home diverting to business and tourism and leisure, that will make more sense. The fourth aspect is the domestic travelers. So when you consider the Indian industry, the tourists are coming to India is just around 11 million, but tourists from India going abroad is around 24 million. So there is a kind of untapped potential in the country. So as you know, this international tourism may not be flourishing in the immediate near future, but there is certain that domestic tourism and domestic travelers are going to come up. And this we have to explore, like as I mentioned, how to go to local, how to expand regional bubbles, micro destinations. So tapping this domestic travelers and domestic tourists is definitely a point of concern and a matter of concern for us. So the fifth area is technology, how we can efficiently use technology in the tourism industry. So for example, this accessible tourism, that is one of the upcoming concepts that is actually aiming at physically challenged or person with different abilities. But as we don't have this luxury of tourism, travel and gates and such kind of massive places, we have to come up with a lot of technologies like touchless solutions, GPRS enabled virtual guides, and navigation support system. So those kind of self-driven or self-guided tourism will be coming up. I think there are a lot of applications are available to guide tourists and travelers to different places. So technology is going to come up, and also there are some areas where we can still explore, like virtual museum exploration. Though it has enough limitation, that is a lot of tourism industry players and government museums and monuments and they are actually trying it. And many people, a lot of people are still in online and social media. So how to optimize search, SEO and all. So in social media, we can actually explore how to improve the business and all. So technology is also going to make a very crucial role in the new normal or the post-pandemic era. And probably sixth part is the health consciousness. How because almost all the people are very much cautious about the health concerns, or they are kind of prompt, they are prone to this kind of diseases. So fruitful partnership with health agencies, health establishments, that is also going to make some sense in the tourism industry. And seventh and last but not the least, the fruitful interventions of government and other associations. So many governments, many state governments, and many countries are coming up with innovative packages to build the confidence of the travelers. So there is a kind of constant fear factor. This fear is actually withdrawing people to explore different places. So this government and industry have to come up with kind of very fruitful packages, very different and innovative ideas to woo the tourists and to build the confidence among the travelers. So there are some companies, they are giving different offers like vouchers, and instead of canceling tourism packages, they are giving some opportunities for postponing their trips. Also, they are aiming at new packages in the coming years, like 2021 and 2022. Such kind of fruitful packaging and customization is very much essential during this time. So many experts are saying that we are undergoing a kind of three phase during this pandemic. First is a kind of short term, that is about survival. It's a very severe condition. How we have to survive the situation, probably 1 or 2 years, that is a point of survival or a short term. And in medium term, it is about revival. That is why we are talking about rejuvenating the industry amidst pandemic. How we can revive, that would be a medium goal. And last, that is a long-term goal, how to thrive. After surviving and reviving, how to maintain the sustainability and thriving for a long time to make sure that tourism is still at the forefront, contributing to society, contributing to economy, building local culture, tradition, and society. So in that sense, tourism is going to make some sense in the positive direction in sustainability part and innovation part and technology part and health consciousness levels. So I'm not prolonging my speech with this note. I once again congratulate the organizers of this event, and with this note, I announce that the program is being formally inaugurated, and I wish all the best and hope that this will make a lot of insights to the travel industry, policymakers, government, and academicians. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable and relevant inaugural address. Dr. Paul V. Matthew is a close colleague of our head Sandoso. Once again, sir, and we expert to achieve this for the future program of our department. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Anujit, Professor Anujit, for this program for his keynote address. Anujit is a assistant professor in Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, Amal College of Advanced Studies in Nilambur. Mr. Anujit sir has an experience of 17 years in teaching and 2 years of industry experience. He is the chairman for Board of Studies in Hotel Management and Culinary Arts in University of Calicut, and also he is a member of various academic bodies. So I heartily welcome you to this program for the keynote address.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go on, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, respected today's chief guest, Dr. Paul V. Matthew, the principal of the college, Dr. C. Rajesh, and the head of the Department of Research and PG Department of Commerce, Dr. P.C. Santosh Babu, and Dr. P.M. Habib Rahman, Dr. Divya M., Ms. Senija S., and Mr. Nisab, and all participants. A very good morning to one and all. Actually, before going to my presentation, what I was planning to tell all things which now within 10 minutes, our today's chief guest has been mentioned. Most of the points which I was planning to present in front of you is already given very briefly by Dr. Paul Matthew, sir. It was wonderful, sir. Your deliberations are very nice and it was a very fruitful one. And with the recent studies, based on the recent studies, I think he has collected all this data and it was wonderful. And the thing is that what I was going to explain is most of the things which are coming around what you have mentioned now. Now, I'm really happy that the college and the department has invited me to present this webinar, and I'm really thankful to the coordinators and the organizers of this webinar. Now, let me move to the presentation. I'll just connect my PPT, then we will start the presentation. Okay, please just a moment. I'll share the PPT. Okay, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, yeah. Okay, now it's visible now. Hello?
So,
It's not visible?
no, please not.
Okay, one second, I'll connect it. Okay, is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, before going to the content of this seminar, let me tell you what is the, from the beginning itself, the inaugural speech of the principal and, the inaugural speech of today's chief guest and the principal, everybody were mentioning about what is the importance of tourism and what has happened because of this COVID-19. Many webinars or maybe many research papers or researchers, scholars are studying about what is the situation of tourism in the present world. They are studying about many things which is happening because of this COVID-19. And I have made this webinar or this presentation based on certain data from UN, WTO, United Nations World Tourism Organizations, and WTTC, IATA, ICAO, and some other popular world organizations. Most of the content which I have going to explain here is based on the world scenario. So let us move to the presentation. Okay. Now, I have mainly three parts. The first one is the introduction. That will be giving the general what is the situation presently there in the world. In tourism, what is the situation now? That is what the introduction, which I am going to give you about 15 minutes it will be. And next is about the strategies for revamping and reviving. As the inaugural speech, the resource person, he mentioned that there are three stages. That is the short-term, mid-term, and long-term activities. Hello?
Excuse me. Yeah, sir. PPT is not open.
It's not open.
Yeah.
It's 1 minute. It's there. Is it visible now?
No.
No. 1 minute. 1 minute. I'll just check it. No? Earlier it was visible, no?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Now it is visible there?
No.
No. Okay, let me see. Now, is it possible to see?
Ah, yes. Yes. Now it's clear now.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So, yeah, the contents which is mainly focusing on the introduction, then the strategies, and last it is the conclusion. Where the introduction part, I'll be explaining about the statistics or what is the present situation based on certain data from some world organizations like UNWTO, WTTC, and all. Then the second stage, it will be about the strategies. The strategies also will be of three part, where in the inaugural speech, our chief guest has been mentioned about that it is a short term, mid-term and long term plans are needed. The same way, there are three stages. One is survival, mitigation, and stimulation. These are the three stages which is for revamping or reviving the tourism industry to the fruitful way. That is what the three stages which I have divided and I have mentioned there. So that will be around 25 minutes and the conclusion. So total I'll take most probably 40 minutes. Okay. Now let us move to the introduction part. So you can see that international tourism or tourism, what is the importance? Now you might have heard from the HOD, your principal, and the inaugural speaker, the importance of international tourism. Then only we will understand what impact it has been created or the COVID-19, how it has been affected it. So you can see that in 1950, 25 million tourist arrival was there. But after 68 years, that is now it is 2018 statistics, where the number of tourists has been increased to 1.4 billion. So that is what the drastic change has happened. You can see that a 56-fold increase in the case of tourist arrivals. That is very drastic change, and it contributes a lot because that much money or that much revenue is generated because of the tourism in world. So 1.5 billion international tourist arrivals were recorded in 2019. You can see that 2019, 1.5 billion international tourist arrivals were there. In a continuous growth, 4% of increase were there from the previous year. It's about 3 to 4 actually. So the UNWTO is telling that it's about 4% growth in the case of world tourism. And they were expecting the same thing should happen in 2020 also. Even in 2019, you can see that there was certain collapse or there were certain issues happened during that period. That was the collapse of Thomas Cook. You might have heard about that. So many negative aspects or many negative issues happened during that period. like Brexit, many socio-economic tensions, many geopolitical issues. But above all these, the tourism has grown 4%. That means even with this much crisis, tourism can grow. That is the result of all these things. Even we saw different issues in 2019, tourism increased by 4%. So the experts, they expect a 3 to 4% increase in 2020 also. Even more than that, because of certain major events like Olympics, Tokyo Olympics, and Dubai Expo, like some major events were going to happen in 2020. You all know that it has been postponed, but they were expecting a growth of 4% in 2020 also. And you can see that in the beginning itself, somebody has mentioned that the GDP contribution of this tourism is about 10.3%. That's around 11% of world GDP. And you can see that 330 million jobs were produced by tourism. And you know, somebody also earlier also mentioned that 1 in 10 jobs around the world is related with tourism. Another interesting factor, you know, every year new jobs are coming out. Every year new jobs are coming out, and 1 out of 4 job will be related with tourism. That is another statistics given by WTTC. Every year when new jobs are coming out, 1 out of 4 will be related with tourism. So that much important it is. Tourism is a very important industry which provides lot of positive things in the world. See, that much important it is. Then let us see what is the situation now. So this much contribution it gives, and now it is in a big confusion. How we can retrieve, how we can come back. A huge number of job loss is there. Many industries or many people who are depending upon tourism, they are in big confusion what to do. Because this pandemic is not comparable with any other pandemics or any other diseases which or any other setbacks which has happened earlier for tourism. It is not comparable at all because we don't know when it is going to subside. It is a big issue the tourism industry is facing. Let's see some of the statistics which shows the impact, how deep the impact. Because when the principal was mentioning, tourism was the industry which faced the hardest hit by this COVID-19. You can see certain statistics which shows that tourism is the industry which faced the biggest issue by COVID-19. Why people are telling about tourism industry this much? Because it gives or it can bring back everything. It can bring back everything if we develop it properly. Even in this pandemic situation, even in between the pandemic situation, if tourism implemented properly, it can bring back everything. So let's see some statistics which has been given by different world organizations like UNWTO. You can see that the international tourist arrivals declined to 65%, minus 65. UNWTO again mentioned that the loss of international arrivals in millions is 440 million. 440 million loss of international arrivals. See, this loss in these international tourist arrivals, which is 5 times, which happened in 2009. There was an economic crisis. You may be remembering that there was an economic crisis which has been hit very hard, very badly the tourism industry. 5 times of that, the economic impact has been created by the COVID-19. So that is what the situation now. As IATA, tourism industry, airlines is having a big role. One of the very important factor behind the development of tourism is the development of air transportation only. IATA is an agency which deals this air transportation industry, IATA and ICAO. These are the two international organizations. They deal with air transportation. And they say that the passenger demand dropped to 67% and the air capacity drops to 59%. And related with the hospitality industry or hotels, which are also the part of this tourism industry, I have mentioned about Asia Pacific only, but other countries also hit very badly. But since Asia Pacific, which is related with us, I have mentioned that 46% of decline in occupancy rate. So everywhere, all the parts, all sectors of tourism has affected very badly. Presently, the countries, the organization, everybody are thinking of bringing back the tourism activities. See, this is what the international tourist arrivals in different globally, in different continents. You can see the total tourist arrival is around 65% decline in the world. But you see, above the world average, Asia Pacific is more. You can see 72% in the Asia Pacific region. The world average is only 65%, but more than that, it has been affected in Asia Pacific region. Very important. You know that the COVID has been generated, or it has been originated from China only. So the area, Asia Pacific region, where India is also included in that, they had a big decline in international tourist arrivals compared with some other countries. Africa it is minus 57, America is minus 55, Europe it is minus 66, even above the average of world. Europe is also having many issues. Then Middle East it is minus 57. This is what the world statistics related with the international tourist arrival. This is the occupancy rate in different regions like Africa, it declined by 17, Central South America minus 19, Europe minus 27, Middle East minus 35, and Asia Pacific, you can see again it is, every sector if we take, Asia Pacific is hit very hardly by this COVID-19. So these are certain negatives, but there are certain positives also. Some changes or some you can see some changes happening in the world, because every time we cannot stand still. At the beginning we stand still for a long period, but later certain changes is happening, because if we don't think of only thinking of survival, we cannot. Recently the UNWTO in their press meet, they have mentioned that what the governments did wrong is simply stand still without doing anything in tourism activity. If they did something, some activities in a protective manner, or with a protocol and with a standard, if we did something, it could have a certain positive impact. That was the deliberation by UNWTO. Recently, they have made a press meet. There, they have mentioned like this. So we cannot stand still. We have to move. We have to do something to bring back the tourism activities because tourism is the only sector which can provide or which can bring the world into the period where it was in 2019, the economic or whatever situation what it was in 2019. If we have to bring back to that situation, tourism is one of the very important tool we can use. That's why every people, every government, every organization is giving more importance to tourism industry. Let's see some recent changes happened. You can see that around 53% of the total destinations are started easing their travel restrictions. They started reopening the boundaries. Around 4 countries, they have completely opened their boundaries for international tourism. International tourism is not going to happen immediately. You all know that. So even though some countries they have started reopening their travel boundaries, then there is the statistics based on UNWTO, which was published in 1st September 2020. And domestic tourism is rising in many large markets such as China and Russia. Domestic tourism, that is the first type of tourism which we can bring during the COVID-19 scenario. When the inaugural speech, the resource person was mentioning about this factor, domestic tourism. So that is the only thing now we can, or only tourism activity now we can think of. Because people started traveling out of the country after, means maybe the situation will be in control. Then only they will start to travel outside the country. So now we have to focus on domestic. That's why China, Russia, a few other countries started focusing on domestic tourism activities, and they have got a positive results. Even in China, the air travel has been increased by 90% in China. So that means it's positive things which are coming out. Some large European destinations such as Austria, Netherlands, Germany, and Croatia saw a slight improvement in May compared with June. That means changes are happening. World is not going to stand still like this. They are trying to bring something new, and they are trying to bring tourism activities back. Otherwise, they cannot survive. That's why the changes which is happening. Some positive signs you can see in India, 8 states like Delhi, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Jammu and Kashmir, they all started inviting tourists, the domestic tourists. Some restrictions will be there, some protocols will be there, even though they have started in between these guys. You know that what is happening in India, in Kerala, what is the number of COVID cases are increasing day by day. But even though by using COVID protocol or by using certain restrictive measures, they're trying to bring tourists. Otherwise, they cannot survive. It's very difficult. You cannot stand still for a long period. So that's why the governments are trying to bring out certain new initiatives. Tourism is one of the sector which can bring or which can bring economy or we can boost the economy. That's why these Indian states, 8 Indian states, they have started opening their borders for tourists. Then in China, what I mentioned earlier itself, in China, air capacity in July rebound to 90%. Domestic air travel has came back. Air travel is one of the biggest risk area because people they believe that, or there is a recent study says that IATA has made a study based on this. IATA has faced an issue that is through airline travel, or maybe if we are traveling in airlines, it creates more or it brings the possibility of spreading of COVID-19, because it is a closed seating arrangement, and that will be in a small area. So the spread of COVID virus can be possible like that. Some misconception was there, and it was very hard hit the airline industry. And what I added it is they made a survey, they made a study, and they what they found is they say that the situation in air transportation or flight or aircraft is better than if you travel in train or bus or cars. That is what the study result they made. So they say that in airlines it is better. There is no much issues if we compare with a train journey or a cab journey or in buses. So that is what the study they are telling. And even they have started introducing certain air filters to avoid the spreading of COVID-19. So likewise, so many new ideas they are going to introduce in different sectors. And also IATA is planning to bring new apps and new technologies, new testing technologies, which can give a result in immediate, means within an hour or within half an hour or 10 minutes. If the result is coming, then that will be a very positive thing. So that is what the innovation they are trying in the airline field. In hotel field also, there are certain innovations are happening. Hotel field also is facing many risks, but in hotel industry, they are trying to bring new ideas. Even now, means because of the technological advancement, they can they can do the booking through online. Even the check-in, that means the check-in procedure means when a guest is coming into the hotel, they have to go to the reception and they have to get details, and they have to put fill the form, and they have to put a certain signature, many things. They have to have an interaction with the front office staff. But in order to avoid this situation, online reservations, online facilities, and by using barcode reading technology and scanning technology, they can enter automatically by using their mobile phones in the hotels. New technologies are coming there, and the precaution measures made by the hotels are wonderful. They are doing many such innovative activities to control the COVID-19 and to bring back the confidence among people. That is what they ask the people to tweet what is happening there in the hotel, to post in Facebook, in social medias. They ask the people, guests, to post it, what is happening here, because that much control they are, or that much protocol, that much effectively they are handling there. So gradually, this hotel industry also coming back, because it is possible in a perfect manner if we implement, or in a protocol way with different steps and procedures. If we do the activities, it will be possible to come back. And there are certain private agencies, they are rating the hotels, rating gold, diamond, silver, like that, because how based on the procedures they are providing, based on the standards they are keeping there in COVID protocol. Based on that, they are giving grading for these hotels. Gradually, government will come with this grading for destinations, for hotels, for airlines, for all those sectors which are involved in tourism. Government will come with certain agencies. They should come with certain parameters, or they should come, or they should give certain grading, so that what is happening, the confidence of customers or the travelers will increase. If it is golden or maybe the highest ranking, that hotel will be getting more customers. So that is what the strategy they can take, some grading or some protocol methods. So these type of things are coming out. It is there in India itself, it is there. So there are certain positive things are happening there, certain innovations are happening there in the field of tourism. Another one is 4 destinations have completely lifted all COVID-19 related travel restrictions, like Albania, Maldives, Serbia, and Tanzania. Okay, so it's happening. It's happening. Changes are happening there. So let's see international tourist arrivals from 2000 to 2020. You can see that in 2001 there is a September 11th an attack was happened there. World Trade Center. There was an attack, and it has affected the growth of tourism. And there you can see that a dip in the international tourist arrival. Again, another thing has happened in 2003 was SARS. SARS is another epidemic which has happened. It's something related. It's in COVID family. The SARS is in COVID family itself. So SARS is something related with this COVID. So these also 2003 SARS was affected, and there was a dip in 2003 also. And you can see another dip which has happened in is the global economic crisis. See, among all these things, you can see a small dip only we can see. But in case of 2020, you can see a huge dip which has happened because of this COVID-19. It's a pandemic with there is no matching with that. It's unpredictable. It's affected very badly. See, if we compare with the SARS and this COVID-19, there are certain similarities we can see. The SARS is an epidemic which is in the same family of COVID. That is also an infectious diseases which is spreading very fastly. But one thing is happened is that SARS is affected in certain small geographical area only, but COVID is not like that. COVID has affected the whole world. And we can take certain activities. What they did during the SARS may help us to overcome the COVID situation. You can see that in 2003 there was a dip, but again in 2004 one of the greatest comeback we can see that 9.4% means among all these averages you cannot see that much increased average. That means after that SARS pandemic only it has come back for this greatest average 9.4%. So that means even any pandemic or any situation has happened, definitely tourism will come back when the situation under control. Definitely people, every people will travel. That's definitely going to happen. But when it is going to subsidize is the issue. When it's going to subside is where the issue actually. So 2003 you can see that there was a dip, but again it came back 9.4%. Drastic change or drastic growth has happened there. But people are telling, the experts are telling that it has affected in a small geographical area. That's why it come back like this. Let's see. Hong Kong is the hardest hit area because of SARS. But you can see that immediately after 2002 December and 2003 August, it came back to the same level of what it was in 2002 December. See, that means immediate comeback has happened even in the hardest hit area where this was a great issue. So that means in the tourism industry, the comeback will be there. You can see here also the Hong Kong hotels bounce back after SARS in a great manner. Means a huge comeback it has happened. That means the COVID-19 is somewhat similar like the SARS, but the geographical area is little smaller in the case of SARS, but COVID-19 happened in the whole world. So even though we can see that, we can definitely say that it will come back. Some deliberations or reflections after SARS, some reflections which may be very useful for COVID-19 also are these. The outbreak was a shorter one. That is, SARS lasted only for November 2002 to July 2030. That is one reason. When after the July 2003, WHO has been declared that the impact of impact of SARS has been completely avoided or declined or completely removed. Okay. So that's why the tourism industry came back. Then the rebound was quick. In SARS, the rebound was very quick. By end of 2003 and early 2004, many countries observed near normal tourist arrival. The shorter period, it has created issues, but it came back very fastly. It has supported even the area where the most pandemic issues has happened. One of the very important thing was is because of SARS, business tourism suffered a lot. So COVID-19 will also, you can see that this statement is very important because business tourism is one of the very important tourism activity, which is growing very fastly, but it will create issue because of COVID-19. One reason is because in business activities or business, they have to travel internationally and public gathering will be there. So this cannot be happened because of, this cannot be possible because of COVID-19. And people have to stay back. And one another reason why, because business tourism is going to suffer, I'm telling because why, now we have business tourism act or business activities. It is based on uh, these you know that conference, convention, exhibitions, isn't it? These all things are the important part of business tourism. So this will be affected because of the introduction of this technology also. Because already people having an issue that is going to tourism to come back. Business tourism to come back, it will take little longer time than any other sectors in tourism. In 2004, being one of the strongest tourism arrivals year seen across all geographies, demonstrating a strong comeback from SARS and other crises at the time. So this is the data from demand. So they say that even from because of SARS or the SARS affected areas, the comeback was very powerful. You have seen that huge growth has happened in the comeback. So maybe we can expect likewise a huge growth in the case of COVID-19 also. Let's move to the next part that is very important. That is the strategies for revamping and reviving. The strategies for revamping the tourism activities, reviving the tourism activities. Three stages are there. Stage one is the survival stage. The stage one is the survival stage, that is short term actually. Stage two is the mitigation stage, where certain medium term activities or plans are needed. And the stage three is stimulation stage. It's a long term activity. Let's see what are this. Survival stage. So whenever we think of such pandemics, definitely the thing which is coming in the mind of people, government, will be survival. After surviving only, they will think of something else. So survival is very important. You know, recently I have mentioned that in the UNWTO's press conference, they said that the government gave more importance to survival. That is why the issue raised like this. UNWTO has mentioned that. UNWTO has made in their comment that government has given more importance to survival part rather than retrieving the tourism activities. They could have given more importance, but little importance should be given to the retrieval of the tourism activities or such type of activities. That is what the deliberation, or that is what the comment given by UNWTO's Secretary General. So this survival is very important. I say it is important itself because Kerala, you can see that now itself also they are in survival stage. The number of tourists, number of COVID cases are increasing. So the industries, government is asking for people to be safe. So what the industry can do during the survival stage? The industry can support the survival activities. It's happening there. We can give our hotels, homestays, all these places for COVID hospitals or COVID treatment centers, supporting the survival activities because we have to survive first, then we have to move to the activities, the tourism activities. We have to move to tourism activities after the survival on. So that's why supporting the government is very important. Another thing, we have many sources. The tourism industry having many sources, many methods, many platforms where we can spread awareness. When you see about ecotourism, why we are implementing ecotourism is not only to protect the environment but also to educate the people. When a person going to an ecotourism center, he see the ecotourism center and what it is protected there and the activities over there will be creating an image in his mind about the importance of protecting the environment. There will be certain hoardings, boards, different things will be there mentioning about the protection of the environment. Whatever these things, when he see, no, the entry will be restricted. We cannot use petrol or diesel vehicles. Mud roads, construction based on eco-friendly materials. These all concepts will give a person, a traveler, a local people, the concept that it is very important. See, that is a part of education. That is educating the person. Likewise, when we give importance to COVID protocols, the tourists, the people, those who are coming, those who are reading, those who are seeing our websites or whatever hoardings, whatever we have, or whatever sources we have to spread the information about the destinations or about tourism activities, that can be used for spreading awareness. So, because this should be a coordinated effort to overcome the issue. So, we can give some awareness. Spreading awareness is also very important. Finding new opportunities. See, some of the country, I think in China, I think some hotels, what they did is the kitchen they utilized for giving food or giving packet foods to COVID patients. I had Tata has introduced that activity. The hotels, the kitchen of their hotels is used to prepare food and spread it to the different or distribute it to different COVID patients or different areas which are isolated or which are under protection. We say it is lockdown areas. So that type of new opportunities or new activities they are doing. And even these kitchen area can be, or some areas can be utilized for COVID activities, mental treatments, physical fitness. Every area the tourism industry can contribute. The tourism industry can contribute there. Just to find out an alternative, a new opportunity there. They have to find out how we can utilize this industry to support the government to survive from these issues. Then skill development. Now it is we are sitting in home. We can develop our skills. Many skills can be developed through online techniques and all. So people should stay back. The tourism industry, those who are in home, the people, those who are working, the employees, they can develop their skill. They can utilize the situation, develop the skill, avoid unwanted expenses, control expenses, precaution measures. We have to take certain common things which are deliberated or which are explained through tourism activities. They can be certain precaution measures adopting with the changing environment. See, now you can see that many courses, many online technologies, many online activities are happening. Just involve in that. Just get new knowledge, new opportunity, new developments, understand new projects, how the world is doing, how they are facing the COVID-19. So such type of involvement they can do, which will give them new ideas, new after or in between the COVID itself, they can find out a new profession or maybe find out a new job or new things can be uh, created by enriching the knowledge. There are so many solutions, so many ways we can enrich the knowledge. Now also, the government has to save the business. They have to save the jobs because in this stage, survival stage, there is no activities. So that's why the government is giving. So you can see that Kerala government recently has given some financial assistance to the tourism tourist guides and also those who are involved or invested in tourism activities. They have given certain support, financial assistance, or keeping them involved in the survival activities to save their jobs. So these things which is happening now is now the survival stage is increasing. The length is increasing nowadays. And it has been reached to the paramount now. So now people what they think is if we are sitting like this, it will not be happening. So now they will start moving to the mitigation stage. So when it is increasing, definitely we don't do something against what the government is saying. In the survival stage, the prime importance is given should be given to the government and their instructions. The health departments, all these instructions should be very serious. But we cannot say when it is going to end, the survival stage. People will be at risk. People will be at many financial problem. So in such a stage, few may be thinking of coming out of this. So there is the intervention of government needed to bring back a protocoled or a controlled type of activities. Otherwise, no, people will not be stand still there because everybody are not like every time means monthly earning people. They survive from their daily earnings. So if it is not there for a long period, that will be definitely affecting. So in survival stage, controlled activities may be, if it is going longer, a controlled activity may be allowed. What I feel. Okay. So anyway, these are the activities we have to do in the survival stage. Very importantly, the next stage is mitigation. Many countries reached this stage, mitigation stage. The hit by tourism should be overcome, or the hit by tourism should be uh, solved, or we cannot completely solve, but a certain level of improvement should be made. How we can? What should we do to come back? It's not a complete long-term plan. It is a mid-term plan. The survival is a short-term one, but the mitigation is a mid-term plan, or it is where we have to introduce so many new things. Many countries do these activities. See, the government can review taxes. They have to think of the taxes, how we can give some benefits to the companies, tourism companies, those who are in business, give them certain relaxations on taxes because this has affected very badly. So give some tax relaxation. Some favorable tax policies can be taken by the governments. Maybe some interest-free loans or deferment of loans can be possible. Keep little longer the payment deferment. The payment can be now moratorium they have declared. Likewise, deferment of loans. new loans will be provided to the people to start businesses, and interest free or maybe a period will be given to them to repay the loan. Such type of intervention can be made by the government. Certain relief funds, flood relief fund we have. So likewise, COVID relief fund we have. So likewise, in tourism industry, tourism relief fund, we can generate, the government can generate tourism relief funds. And certain reduction of government fees related with certain business interventions or business activities or any other activities where the tourism industry has to give fees to the government, certain reductions or even avoid the fees to regenerate or rejuvenate, to make them more positive, motivated. Then certain salary tax rebates for 1 year, maybe. This may motivate them. Loan guarantees. The government itself stand as a loan guarantee, or certain discounts, or maybe certain deferment, or maybe something, some policy should be made that the guarantees may be avoided, or some can government can sit as or stand as a guarantor. Some type of discounts or some type of activities or the loans which they are giving should be the conditions or the rules, the policy or the rules for getting loans may be somewhat we can dilute. We can dilute in that loan policies and all. That is something related with the economic activities. Then promotion campaigns. Some promotion PR campaigns are very important. Strong PR campaigns. You can see in another area it is strong PR has been mentioned. Promotion campaigns has been should be taken by the government. Restoring tourist confidence and trust, very important. When we start strong promotion activities, the negative image should be avoided by using social media, by using many other activities. Bring back the confidence among tourists. Activities should be based on that. One of the very important factors going to influence the international tourist travel will be safety. In the coming future, this will be the important factor where the international tourists will travel based on these factors. They give priority to safety. So that's why we have to restoring the tourist confidence and trust. The confidence of tourists should be restored. Then training, counseling to employees, provide certain training programs, counseling to employees where they may be hesitated to come back to the industry because of this pandemic. Maybe it will affect them or how they can survive from that. There's a lot of issues, confusions will be there. So, or maybe if a COVID patient or maybe a positive patient who is recovered, maybe coming for employment, the other people may not be coming. Such type of mental issues will be there. A need of counseling sometimes will be there. So that is training and counseling to employees. Then safety and hygiene protocol. See, very important. What I said is safety is an important factor which is going to influence the international travel. So safety and hygiene protocol should be there. It should be there. Should be certain laid down by government. They have to introduce certain agencies to grade how what is the situation or what is the method of hygiene and safety in a industry, in a hotel, in a destination, in a travel agency. What is the standard they are following? They have to give grading based on that. So that should be there. Then what people will be believing that if an entity having higher grade, the people will be more interested with that entity. So that is what the safety and hygiene protocol. We have to introduce. The government has to introduce safety and hygiene protocol. Even each companies, even each industry stakeholders can introduce a safety and hygiene protocol. See, because in the mind of the customer, they have to build that the safety, the importance they are giving to safety is very high. This image should be built there. Then only people will come back. No, because the impact is that much important. Then travel insurance. So the travel insurance already there, but based on this COVID or this pandemic, we have to add certain additional columns there related with travel insurance. Any issues? It's okay, no? It's audible, no? Excuse me? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Okay. Somebody has interrupted, that's why. Now, when we move to the next area, the pollution control. See, now you can see that the industry started using the protocol, and where we know that they use gloves, they use mask, they use this sanitizer, all these things. So disposal of all these things is very important. There is a need of a protocol for that also, because we are doing the safety measures properly in that industry, but how we dispose these all materials, it's very important. So how that is also should be written down in the protocol, how we are doing this. So these all things will give image in the mind of the customers, how this industry is giving much importance and how they are doing these activities. This image will help us to bring back the tourists. Then deep cleaning of hotels, restaurants, tourist destinations, etc., which should be publicized. People should know about that. That means here we made severe cleaning activities. That means that much safe my place is. That image should be built there in the mind of the customers, where people will be coming back to the destination or coming back to the hotels. So that type of popularity or publicity should be given to these activities, cleaning activities. Okay. Now, certain tourism recovery plans by the governments. Think about the plans and introduce certain short-term plans there. Then domestic tourism promotion, domestic tourism is going to be very important after post-COVID activities. Definitely people know that it's not possible to travel internationally. So government will be concentrating on domestic tourism promotion activities. So government should give more priorities. See, some countries already started certain mitigation activities where they have invested a lot of money for domestic tourism promotion activities. Certain in the coming slides, I'll tell you that about that also. Some strong PR activities, substitute demand generation, alternative revenue. That means substitute demands should be created. See, or alternative revenue should be hotel. That means only stay and only they have to give this accommodation facility and all these things. There they should find out certain alternative activities. That means giving certain additional works, the production service, all these things. There will be different departments. We know that. Giving the activities means cleaning, COVID related cleaning, or this cleaning or safety protocol cleaning can be done by the housekeeping department. Okay, a protocol cooking or production, the production department can be do. So there is no need to fix any other employees to bring or to do these activities. Just give them training and substitute them. That should be, that type of innovation should be made there. Certain cost reduction operation activities. In industries like hotels and travel agencies, they actually promote their employees. They are sending their employees outside. They are giving some trips. They are giving some discounts. They are giving some coupons, some promotion, welfare activities for their employees. Cut down all these activities. That is what happening there in the hotel industry. They cut down all these activities because they have to survive the jobs, or they have to keep the jobs for the employees. Additional activities can be removed. It's not essential for the mitigation period. For the shortest period, no need to give them certain additional activities. Cut down unwanted expenses. If some areas are not by certain countries. Very interestingly, one of the very interesting mitigation policy or certain active or an interesting activity did by Costa Rica. See, moved all holidays of 2020 and 21 to Monday. Very interesting. Monday to enjoy long weekends. So they know that Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday is a holiday. What they did is no Monday also in 2020 and 21. Monday also will be holiday for all the people. The Sunday and Monday can be combined together and they can travel. Very interesting activity. Okay, that is another that is a tech method or innovative idea they have brought. That is bringing collaborating 2 days together. That means every Monday will be a holiday for the next 1 year by Costa Rica. In Argentina, they have announced the creation of an observatory for domestic tourism to provide better profile of Argentine tourists. So they announced that they're going to introduce a observatory for domestic tourism. They are focusing on domestic tourism. Italy, in other case, Italy, what happened? Initiative called bonus vacations. That is initiative where offer families with income of up to Euro 40,000, contribution of up to Euro 500 to spend in domestic tourism accommodation. So the families who are up to 40,000 euro income will be getting a 5,000 euro as for domestic tourism accommodation. That means boosting them to stay in different accommodation units. That's what Italy did very recently. In Malaysia, what happened? No allocation of US dollar 113 million worth of travel discount vouchers, as well as personal tax relief of up to US dollar 227 for expenditure related to domestic tourism. That has tourism activities, the people to do domestic tourism activities. In Thailand, subsidies 5 million nights of hotel accommodation at 40% of normal room rate for up to 5 nights. Up to 5 nights, 5 million nights they are giving 40% discount. 40% discount they are giving for 5 million nights. Continuously for 5 nights maximum. One person can stay there. France, they have introduced a campaign called Set et J Visit Le France. Set et J Visit Le France means this summer I visit France. A campaign they have started already. Okay, that is also inside the country. So domestic tourism, almost everybody are focusing. So interesting factors they are introducing. Okay, now we will move to the stimulation stage. Stimulation stage is a long term. There, the policy which should be developed by the government based on a sustainable and inclusive development. Include all with a sustainable development. You know, actually, the UNWTO's World Tourism Organization, the topic is rural development and tourism. That is the topic of UNWTO's World Tourism Organization. Very recently, that is 27th, November 27th is the World Tourism Day. September 27th, sorry. September 27th is the World Tourism Day. That is going to, that has been finished this Sunday. It was, okay. So the topic was rural development. Rural development. So based on the UNO's sustainable development goals. 17 sustainable development goals has been established by United Nations. That means the UN is also thinking of a sustainable development in all areas, not in tourism, but in all areas. A sustainable development is needed. Sustainable development means the use of resources should be in a sustainable way, because resource is not for us only, it's for the future generation also. Keep something back, or keep something for the future generation. That is very important. So the sustainable development is aimed by UN. Same way, the UNWTO is also thinking of 2030 a sustainable tourism development. That's why they have given rural development as a concept for this year's tourism day celebration. So uh, here, this pandemic is giving a sign that the way we lived, or the way we did the business, whatever activities, is not right. The pandemic has given a warning to us. It was not like this you have to do. We have to have a sustainable practice. So this you can take as a mark, where post COVID we can take as no, after COVID, before COVID, like that, a division can be seen. After COVID, a better way is to develop everything sustainably. A sustainable and inclusive development is necessary in all fields, not only in tourism. So what, in stimulation stage, whatever decisions the governments are taking, they should take it very seriously, that the decisions should be sustainable. Immediate benefit may not be good. As long term, no, we are taking short term as a mitigation decisions. Along with that, we are taking certain long term decisions. So these long term decisions should aim to achieve sustainable development. Definitely, it should be. That should be the method of introducing the different plans. Then, second thing, at the time of taking a decision, in immediate future, we have to focus on domestic tourism. We have to focus on domestic tourism. Earlier also, we have mentioned that domestic tourism is the area we have to focus. Why? Because, encashing of the outbound travel is very important. I think the resource person, or the inaugural speech, when the inaugural speech was going on there, he mentioned about this. In India, around 25 million outbound travelers are there. And very less compared with this. So these 24 million travelers, they are not traveling now. They cannot travel at all. Why not encash them? The plan which should be focusing on them. They cannot travel outside. Why not they travel inside? Bring certain policies, bring certain developments, motivate them, attract them to this inbound travel within India. That because people may be, now they are at great risk. Even they don't have money to survive. Then how they will invest for tourism activities? That is also an issue. Local investment will be in a dilemma. So there we have to support. The government has to decide the plan or policies based on, means they have to support these people. The certain policies should support them. Since the inside people are not ready or the local investment are in issue, we have to take certain favorable decisions to uh, bring the foreign investment policies. Foreign investment we have to bring back, or we have to bring foreign investment. Certain favorable policies are very important to favorable policies for foreign investment that will bring foreign investment to the country because local investment is an issue. Then small scale industries, entrepreneurs should be supported. The small scale industries which are related with tourism should be supported because domestic tourism is going to develop. Small scale industry will be very useful, and rural development is the term which is we are going to focus. So globally, we have to focus on this. Globally, the local features should be highlighted globally. So that is very important. So we have to support the small scale industries and small scale entrepreneurs. Then certain individual tax discount, company tax discount, the the industry tax discount. These all tax discount will boost the domestic tourism. So whenever we take a certain decision related to stimulation, long-term decisions, we have to think of all these things. Then let us take some important features when we take about or when we think of these simulation activities. The focus should be on
Anjit
certain
sir,
facts.
hello.
Yeah, sir.
Sir, sorry for the interference. Sir, actually we are running out of time.
Oh, it's 11:30 now. Okay, I'll go fast and
Yes.
I'll wind it up in 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. Sir. Please give me
Okay,
5 minutes, sir. I'll wind it out. Okay.
okay.
Uh, s- uh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Shall I take 5 minutes, sir?
Yes,
Of
sure,
course,
sure.
sir.
Go.
Okay. Yeah. So certain focus should be given to the simulation stage. It's a long-term plan. No? So we have to have certain focuses. The focuses should be on these all points. That is strategies on minimizing tourism industry losses and refresh or reshifting growth active action plan based on new global realities. New global realities. That is the very important point. What is the reality now? Based on that should be the planning. Certain situation has been changed, so that we have to think of when we plan for the future. Plan for the rebound of the global tourism sector as COVID-19 impact subsides with a long-term investment that improves a country's competitiveness. So whenever we think of tourism sectors, think of the COVID-19 impact, what happened to this, and what is the mitigation or what is the impact, where is it hit. So when we think of the long-term plan, how to resolve that? How to resolve and come back with that? Reshape the demand-generating plans to ensure country is well placed to capture increased travel aircraft and travel after COVID-19. The focus of the national action plan likely shift to driving long-term competitiveness. That means the focus of the plan should be long-term competitiveness, based on long-term competitiveness, private sector investment activation. That is already I have mentioned that private sector should be motivated or a foreign investment should be improved so that the people can or the plan will be effective. So some Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, they have made certain plans, COVID-19 strategies they have made, certain long-term plans they have made, building a recovery strategy through partnership. That is what Singapore has made. That means Singapore is setting up a public-private tourism rapid action task force, TRAC, to lay out the plans for recovery, the future growth. That is Singapore is doing. Then communication, tourist safety, communicating tourist safety. The safety is very important. So communicating them, our country is very safe. Come back, come to our country, motivating them to come to the country. So supporting quarantine guests and sharing the story. So when tourists are coming, maybe 14 days they are staying in the hotel. So ask them to share the story. That means how safe they are here. Show them. Show the marketing should be there. That means we are safe here. In Singapore, we are safe. You can show it through social medias. So that will create an image of the country. Then Thailand, Thailand, they have interest. No, all these countries, you can see that they are focusing on domestic tourism, and the plans are based on that. Prioritizing first step domestic market growth. So domestic market they are setting. Okay, then Malaysia also the domestic prioritize first step domestic growth. They are also focusing on domestic growth. Certain plans they introduced based on this domestic or to attract the tourist because they know that it is very important. In Thailand, one interesting factor they did is they delayed all the international festivals. They postponed it for a few months or maybe 1 year. Next available situation, they can do it. Like that, they postponed the activity. So such type of innovative activities, any country can do. Even India can do. So I reached to the conclusion. In the conclusion, you can see that tourism is the engine for economic growth and development. Definitely, it is there. It is the engine for economic growth. If it is developed properly, we can bring back whatever we lost. Rebuilding trust and confidence is the important area to focus on the immediate future. Rebuilding the confidence. It is safe. My country is safe. My property is safe. Each and everybody has the responsibility to uh, uh, rebuild the confidence among the tourists. My country is safe. My destination is safe. My property is safe. This is what they have to build. Short, medium, and long-term plans with a greater focus on future is needed. What I mentioned in the three stages, there is a need of short, medium, and long-term plans. Then, post-COVID tourism development should focus on sustainable development. Definitely, because UN WTO's aim or the UN itself is showing an aim that sustainable development, sustainable growth is very important. So our plan, tourism plan, also should be based on sustainable development. Then a joint effort of government, international tourism organizations, and tourism industry players will be needed for the safe restart of world tourism. So that is what a very important part. Government, organizations, tourism industry players, they all together stand and bring back the tourism industry. Okay. So that's all for my session. I think I have taken more time. Sorry for that. So at the end, it was little fast. I have to finish it little fast. So that's why sorry for that. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present or give interact with you. It's very interesting. Now, if you have any confusion or if you have any questions or queries related with my presentation, you can ask. Sir, Nisab sir, it is all right.
Next, I would like to invite Dr. Habib Rahman, Coordinator of Self-Financing Talks, for feedback and discussion session. So please.
Okay, good morning. First of all, let me express my gratitude to the department for inviting me to have a brief account of our webinar in this World Tourism Day, which is on tourism revamping and reviving after pandemic. As you know, worldwide we can see a dilemma because of the pandemic condition of COVID. See, in this situation, all over the world we can see a number of hotels has been closed and a number of employees who were working earlier become unemployed. This has affected the economy, all economies of the world. In this situation, we can expect a good future. That was the idea given by our seminar, our webinar, which is
Mr. Anujit S. for his valuable and relevant insight that he shared with us. Finally, I'm happy to express hearty word of thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. Rajesh sir, for presidential address and also for self-financing coordinator, Habib sir, for feedback and discussion session. Next, I would like to express a special thanks for our head of the department, Dr. Sanjay sir, such a webinar in this period. Last but not the least, I'm happy to say to our technical support team, especially Shahul and all faculties and students for participating in this webinar.
All the participants are requested to fill up the feedback form, which is posted in the chat box.
Sir, it's over. Now, may I leave, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.